Hello everyone, and welcome to the Canadian Redneck channel. My name's Dave, and today we're going to be changing the PTO clutch in a 550 Oliver. This is the same tractor that probably about a month ago we did the clutch adjustment to, and unfortunately it was just worn too much, and once you put it back to work it started shedding little bits of the clutch discs out of it, so we have to change the clutch back. I've already got it a good portion of the way apart here, all the outside off, so that we can see where the clutch pack is at. I'll grab the camera and we'll take a look at what the next step is. Here is the clutch pack for the power takeoff right in here. I've been looking and I believe I can do this without splitting the tractor. Take out the two bolts for the fork here and slide the release bearing shaft right out the side, and I think possibly we can get all the bits moved around and replace that without splitting the tractor. We'll get going at it and see how we make out. We get the spring removed out of the road. And we can get at the two bolts for the release bearing fork. There. There are two bolts with nuts that hold the kind of the release bearing to the pressure plate. Now, these have to come completely apart because you can see the groove in here goes right around a ridge on the front of the pressure plate here. Screwdriver down in here holding the pin back, and that nut is just turning right off. Yeah, there we go. Finally got it to where we can thread it off. And that is threading off. There we go. We can easily see what the trouble with the clutch pack was. Only little bits and pieces here of the discs. They would jam over top of one another and jam the clutch pack. And that's why it wasn't releasing, and that's why there's so much pressure on it. It was hard to get the nut ton thread off of there. I think I've got the pressure plate moved out of the way enough that we'll be able to fish all the discs and pieces out. And I'll get started at that process and get the dirt and crud cleaned out of there, and we'll see what the next step is. The clutch pack disassembled now. Pressure plate, I just slid it ahead of the shaft there. You could actually make yourself a little more room. There it is. Down the side here where this grease fitting is, that is the grease fitting for the release bearing for the PTO clutch. If you take that nut off, you could remove the grease tube that goes in there and make yourself a little more room, but you can slip the discs and stuff by the pressure plate. Got the all the discs and stuff out of the drum. Had to take a screwdriver and an air hose. There's a lot of broken little bits and pieces, and got to make sure you get the drum well cleaned out in between all these little teeth, because if you get any little bits left inside there, they're going to stack up on your discs again and cause you trouble. You can see here all the broken bits of disc and so on. They were just crumbled. There's 5 fiber discs and 4 steel separator plates. So I'll take these separator plates now and clean them all up and get the fiber discs, and we'll start putting back together. I've got all the discs in, but the last steel separator plate and last fiber disc. You start out with a fiber disc first. There's 5 discs and 4 separator plates. You start out with a fiber disc and then alternate steel plate, fiber disc, steel plate, etc. There's not a lot of room, but there's enough room, and it beats beat splitting the tractor, that's for certain. Carefully work your discs down in place. There's 4 basically large square keys that the steel plate goes on. The fiber disc fits in the teeth around the outside of the drum. There we are. That's all the discs in place. Now the pressure plate slides back on. Okay, once you get the pressure plate started on, there are 3 notches in the pressure plate that line up with the 3 keys inside the hub of the drum, inside the hub in here. So once you get them lined up, then you can continue tightening the nut. Pressure plate adjust up reasonably close. It's time now to put the release bearing back on here. Now this has 2 little spacers in it. You got to make sure you get the spacers back in. It's got 2 little spacers like that, 1 on each side. The notches in it go over the ridge at the end of the throat bearing. Slide your bolt in carefully. Make sure it's through the spacer. We've got the pressure plate tightened up now to where it's time to get these forks in and the clutch shaft so that we can get our adjusting done on the pressure plate, get the final adjustments in so we know we've got everything set where we need it. Got the forks on and the shaft slides in the side. And don't forget to get your clutch pedal lined up onto that shaft as it comes out through the other side. And you got to identify where the keyway is in the shaft also. With that final adjustment made, that gets the PTO clutch finished on this tractor. All that's left now is to put all the steering box and bits and pieces back on. When you adjust that clutch, you want to make sure that you get a good solid lockup, and when you release it, the PTO shaft will still turn freely. And that's what we ended up with here. Thanks for watching. Hope it was helpful. Like, subscribe, comment. Have a good day.